Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been grinding out footwork in lessons, sweating it out in front of the studio mirrors, but your stomach literally drops at the mere thought of stepping into a real Chicago social dance venue, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to explore how to take those hard-earned dance skills out of the safety of the classroom and drop them right into the vibrant, super exciting world of Chicago's social dance scene.
Because let's be real, taking a class is actually the easy part, right? You've got an instructor pacing you, a giant mirror to check your form, and this nice, predictable environment. You mess up, you just stop, reset the track, and try again. But transitioning out onto the actual social dance floor, that is the real, often super intimidating goal. Out there, the music doesn't stop, there are no mirrors, the lights are dim, the floor is packed, and there's basically no safety net. It's a hurdle literally every dancer faces. And turning that structured learning into smooth, comfortable, and, believe it or not, enjoyable social dancing, it all comes down to finding the absolute right environment to practice in.
To get you there, we've got a 5-step roadmap today. Going from class to the dance floor, finding your ideal venue, looking for strategic practice formats, building an on-floor game plan, and finally, building your dance community.
All right, let's jump straight into step 1, bridging that gap from the class to the dance floor.
So you really need to know what kind of vibe to look for. On one hand, you have performance-only nights. These are high pressure, usually packed with highly experienced dancers. If you're newly learning or coming back from a break, this is exactly the kind of environment you want to avoid right now. The sheer anxiety of being around a super experienced crowd can make you forget everything you learned in week 1. It's incredibly discouraging to step onto a floor where people are spinning at lightning speed when you're just trying to nail your basic step. Instead, you want to actively hunt down social participation nights. Look for event descriptions that shout open dance, beginner-friendly vibes, and partner practice. These are spaces literally built to lower the pressure and give you tons of chances to actually dance.
Moving on to step 2, exploring Chicago's scene to find your ideal venue.
So, where do you look? Well, local dance organizations and Chicago community calendars are absolute gold mines for finding those beginner-friendly nights we just talked about. Your own studio's events are great too. But here's the real secret to early success. Focus on recurring events. Honestly, walking into a room of total strangers is arguably the hardest part of social dancing. But if you hit up a recurring Tuesday night salsa event or a weekly Thursday swing night, by week 3, those strangers are just acquaintances. You start seeing the same faces, they start recognizing yours, and suddenly, boom, you're building a micro-community. The fear of asking someone to dance totally plummets when it's a familiar face.
Another absolutely crucial thing here is to target nights that actually line up with your specific lesson style. Whether it's swing, salsa, bachata, Argentine tango, make sure the venue's music matches your class syllabus so you aren't completely caught off guard. And I've got a fantastic pro tip for you. Arrive early. Seriously, get there before the lights go down and the music gets too loud. Just walk right up to the host, to the DJ, and say, hey, I'm new here. How does a rotation usually work? Getting a feel for the floor's flow before it gets crowded is a massive confidence booster. Okay, step 3, what to look for when choosing strategic practice formats.
When you're scrolling through those community calendars, keep an eagle eye out for some specific keywords. You really want to prioritize events that offer an open floor, a guided practice, a social with partner rotations, or a workshop that transitions directly into a dance. Why these in particular? Well, take a social with partner rotations, for example. Rotations force you to dance with literally everyone in the room. It totally completely removes the awkwardness of having to walk up and ask someone to dance. You just rotate, say hi, and start moving. Workshops that transition into a dance are also incredible because everybody there is practicing the exact same moves they just learned an hour ago. It puts everyone on a perfectly level playing field.
That brings us to step 4, maximizing your night with an on-floor game plan.
Now I'm going to share a real secret weapon to kill that dance floor anxiety. It's called the micro skill. A micro skill is just a specific, simple technique you focus on during a dance, like staying on rhythm, keeping your frame steady, or clearly signaling turns. By focusing on just one single micro skill at a time, you dramatically reduce stage fright. Think about it. Normally, you're worrying about your arms, your posture, your timing, dodging other couples, remembering the choreography. It is just way too much. Instead, pick one thing. For a whole song, maybe you literally just focus on counting the beat. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's it. Mastering one simple technique at a time is how you actually build muscle memory without getting paralyzed by overthinking.
So how do we put this into practice? Follow these 4 actionable steps to structure your night. First, bring a small goal with you, like, tonight, I just want clean basics. Second, arrive early to meet people, just like we talked about. Third, Take breaks. You do not have to dance every single song. Stepping off the floor to recover keeps your brain sharp. And fourth, note what felt easy versus what stalled. You don't need to bring a literal notebook out there, but take a mental note when you're grabbing water. Did that turn feel smoother? Did I lose the beat during the bridge? Self-awareness is how you level up.
And remember, communication is key. If you're comfortable with it, politely tell your partners what you're working on. Honestly, you'll be shocked at how relieving this is. When you say, "Hey, I'm just working on my basics tonight," the pressure instantly evaporates. Your partner knows exactly what to expect, and suddenly, you're a team. People generally love helping a beginner who's honest and eager, and they will totally match your pace.
Finally, step 5, moving beyond the steps and building your dance community.
Look, if you've heard all this and you're still feeling a bit hesitant, the absolute best place to start is right where you take classes. Hit up the social nights hosted by your own studio. The crowd there matches your syllabus, and everyone is at a super similar comfort level. Think of it as a natural progression. You start at the studio, your ultimate safe zone. Then, once you feel good there, you venture out to a low-pressure community calendar event, and eventually you graduate to the full late-night social. It's totally manageable.
There's an insight from our source material that I absolutely love, and it's this. With the right environment, after class becomes more than practice, it becomes community. Giving yourself permission to improve just one dance at a time in a welcoming space completely transforms what could be a super stressful practice session into a true sense of belonging. The dance floor stops being a terrifying performance stage, and it starts being a home.
The Chicago dance community is out there waiting for you, but they can't dance with you if you just stay in the studio forever. So, check out the calendar, pick one micro skill to focus on, and let me ask you, which social night will you step out onto the floor and try this week?